Hi Sales World. Today's video is about the scary topic of cold calling. We might as well bring it out in the open. Cold calling is bloody scary. I envy people who get on a phone and make 100 or 200 calls a day cold calling people. But in the tech space, that isn't the case. We only have to do it part-time. So I'm going to share with you 5 tips that I've learned in creating an effective plan to be better at cold calling. I hope you like and subscribe to this channel. I've created it to help people who are in the sales function of their business increase their sales knowledge that aligns with the customer journey along their buying process. This video sits at the beginning of the sales process. How to come up with a plan to be more successful when we have to make that dreaded cold call. So I hope you like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So when you think about cold calling, or I think about cold calling, it is scary. I've been in enterprise sales for more than 8 years now in the tech space. And when I go through bouts of not having to make a cold call, I get that fear just in my stomach and my body is saying, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And it's that fear of putting myself out there and calling someone when they're not ready for it and having them be rude and hanging up the phone with me that used to stop me from making those calls. But particularly if you're in a startup or an early stage company and you're one of only a few salespeople, we have a responsibility to get better at this skill because it largely can determine the success or failure of a young company. And even if you're in a large organization, the success and failure of our career or our longevity in that business is often determined by whether we are successful at cold calling. So the first tip in being successful at cold calling that most people overlook is being respectful or being aware of the world of the people we're calling. We are calling someone unannounced. They have other priorities in their world. They are just not sitting around waiting for you to call them. They have pressures, they could be in meetings, they have other priorities, and we are simply not going to get their attention in a 1 or 2 minute call. Have you ever been in a cold call and someone has called you and said, hi, this is Gavin from Company X, and they just start rattling on, hoping to get out their pitch before you can say no? It's so off-putting and does not start the relationship off in the right tone. And people are far more comfortable saying no in a situation. So how I structure the beginning of my call is I ask a question to give them a no response. So I'll always ask, is this a bad time? And they will say no, and then they've realized halfway through it, they'll go, hang on, I've just given them permission to keep talking. Or they'll say no, and then afterwards I'll say, I have a meeting in 2 minutes, and you have 2 minutes to talk to them. That's all you really want anyway. So you have permission to continue the conversation. So being courteous and asking for permission to talk is critical. It's often the first 10 or 15 seconds that matter the most in that conversation. You don't want them to say, hey, not interested, or sorry, and hang up. You can't go on from there. Now, one of the second and probably the most critical factor to remember in a cold call is be courteous. Remain loyal to your brand. Now, if your brand is being an arsehole and that works for you, so be it. I'm not telling you to change, but you can still be courteous. I hear videos all the time when they say, don't ask people how they are. I prefer to ask people how they're doing. What I prefer to focus on is my tone. I try to be courteous through my tone and have upward inflections on the end of my words to invoke a happiness or a joyous person on the other end. Now, I don't mean to be that person that is so happy that it's annoying. Don't do that. Just be consistent to your brand. If you want to be an arsehole and it's working for you, so be it. I'm only saying that the majority of people want to speak to nice people, And if it's working for you in your brand, continue down that track. The third tip is always speak in outcomes. We have to remember that when people engage with us or a business, they want an outcome in their business. So it makes sense to frame our language in the terms of the outcomes we provide. So when I talk about outcomes to a company, I'll talk about the journey from their current state, how their problem is presenting in their business, and how we take customers on a typical journey to give them the benefits of implementing our product. And then it's a risk-based, whether it's a productivity-based, a cost-based, or a risk-based reward, I will talk about that based on my best guess of the person I'm speaking with. Now, a large part as well is I want to build similarity or build rapport. So I'll talk about customers who are similar to them. If we don't have customers in that industry, I'll talk about customers in that region. If I don't have customers in that region, like a state, I'll talk about customers in the country. What I want to do is try to build some rapport and similarities to say, hey, you're not the first person we're speaking to. We help others in this industry or region, state, country as well. And we would love to talk to you further. So the fourth point is having a clear outcome. We need to qualify them more than anything. We need to know whether we should pursue them and whether there is a chance that they could become a likely client. A goal is not always to get to a call afterwards. We need to understand whether they see the pain as significant enough to solve, whether they're willing to have a conversation with us, if they have a solution in their business, and should we schedule another call? Now, it can go either one or two ways. Yes, we want to pursue it, or no, it's not the right time. And then that's either, is it not the right time ever, or is it not the right time now and I should engage you in a period of time? One of the best wins I've ever had is I met someone at a conference and he said, I would love to talk to you. It's not the right time. Call me in 12 months. And I said, oh, okay. I put it in the diary then and there and said, he was not going to expect me to call him in 12 months. But to the day I called him, I said, is now the right time? You said last year to call. And I closed a $45,000 a month deal over a 5-year term within 2 or 3 months because I made that call. So sometimes the timing's not right and we need to recognize that and we need to have a clear outcome. The clear outcome is, should we pursue? If so, what's the next step? Now remember, they're busy. We're not going to get their full attention. So what we want to do is schedule a further discovery call or more of in-depth call, definitely before a demo if that's what you do. Now, if you get the outcome, it's time to end the call. We don't want to give them a chance to say no. So we want to confirm the next step, organize a meeting, and hang up the call. So point 5 is using cold calling as part of a larger sales strategy for you as a salesperson or in the business. I'll tend to use cold calling as part of a large email outbound sales strategy. I feel like people are more comfortable responding to an email first and then I'll push to a call. But somewhere in between there, if they're not answering, after about 4 or 5 emails, I might just put on an email, I'll try and give you a call tomorrow to introduce myself, to let you know that I'm a real person. And then the next day I'll call, asking him again, is this a bad time? I just wanted to let you know that I'm a real person, and then kick off the conversation from there. If you're using cold calling as a single sales strategy, you're dependent on that to go right to kick off any sales interaction. Using it as part of a larger sales strategy takes the burden of success just off that one call. Now, I hope that gives you some context at how you can start creating a plan to be more effective at cold calling. Now, just to recap, first, we need to consider the world of the people we're calling. 2, we need to be courteous. 3, talk in outcomes. Talk in a way that demonstrates the benefit those people you're speaking to will gain from engaging with you. And where possible, try to build rapport by using clients in a similar region, country, or industry. Number 4 is have clear outcomes. You need to qualify them as well. And does it make sense to schedule a next call? Remember, they're busy. So try to schedule a call when they can give you their full attention and you can understand their business more. And number 5 is try to use cold calling as part of a larger strategy if you can. Now, I hope you learned something today about cold calling. The truth is, it is difficult, but it's something that we have to master. If you think about it, you're a salesperson in a business, there's no one else to do it. It's your responsibility to be able to do this, to learn how to do it. I've been doing this for a long time and I still get that feeling right here in my stomach. It doesn't go away, but I know the strategies that I have will help me be more effective. So this is a tool or a process in a larger part of a sales strategy. And if you're looking to refine that strategy, I've written a book called Startup Sales Secrets that helps organizations create a sales strategy based off 3 core principles that they should align to. And you can get your free copy in the comments below. So that's almost all for today. Thank you for watching. Now, if you like this video and you want to be informed of other content that I release regularly, please like and subscribe and hit that bell button down below and you'll be notified whenever something comes out. So thanks a lot. Good luck cold calling and let me know how you go in the comments below.